Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Sleeping Warrior, 10th Man, Travis, Paul, Flatzoid, Chocolate Saiyan, and I think that's pretty much it. Good to have you all.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good morning.
Very good to have you all. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Hello.
Hello, Paul. Any signs of Earth curvature? Anybody at all?
No curve. None whatsoever.
About axial rotation. Any signs of that?
Not that either.
Definitely not.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No apparent
measurable distance to the sun, but you can think of one.
I can imagine there's a distance measured, but there isn't one. Indeed. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Scientific evidence of what?
Gravity. Scientific evidence thereof. Travis.
Silly.
Nope.
I'd like to continue the discussion since what I was talking about before the show is gravity, so-called gravity related. I was thinking about something Anthony said. You said about the gravitometers measuring God. I still don't know if I can say that, but I could say that they might be measuring the mechanism God uses to cause the effect that we see of relative density. You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah. I think I had a good conversation on Nathan Thompson's this morning. Bob was in there. Nathan, for some reasons, at Denver. He's stopped on his way through. He took a pit stop. And Bob was in with him. And basically, Bob's happy to accept that whatever this is, the gravimeters are measuring, it's clearly not what we're told it is. Because it's not mass attracting mass. Now, Bob says it could be, and he thinks it is, the Earth attracting mass, in the sense that imagine that Earth's negative and everything around us is positive. There is some kind of interaction going on, and he describes it as a force. And I'm like, well, we can agree with that. That's not necessarily it's not necessarily contentious, but the issue is it's not mass attracting mass, right? And he agrees it's not mass attracting mass, but he does say he thinks it's Earth attracting mass. And I'm like, right, okay. But when Ebola came in to give some opposition, he immediately said, if you agree that there's a downwards acceleration force that is equal to or very similar to what we're saying is gravity, then that removes the gravity argument right out of the equation. There's no discussion about it anymore. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It doesn't at all. So the problem is, if we spitball with the idea of something else, but we use the phrase gravity, ballers immediately hijack what we've just discussed. And then they say that there's nothing to talk about anymore because you've agreed there's a downwards acceleration force. And we're like, whoa. So we've got to be really careful. But we suggested that we shouldn't use the word gravity because it's such a trigger word. They hijack it immediately. Maybe we should call it Godity, because unless they can prove that it's the thing that they tell us it is, it can equally be God. Why not? Not saying it is, but what I'm saying is just to contrast against the word gravity, because they can't be trusted with meanings of words, contexts, like the true meaning of words. They can't be trusted with it.
Well, that's kind of what that's why I'm trying to avoid the term when I'm talking about it, because I think that's why I said mechanism. We don't know what that mechanism is that's causing the relative density and causing why things move, the denser things move towards our feet, you know. And I think that's why I was saying, I think the reason I was thinking like I was thinking is the only way you can attribute a force is when something is in motion. But if something is at rest, there's no force applied. The force disappears. In my mind, I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm thinking about it. So there is something causing things to be the way they are. And you're right, it could be simply the word God, and you can just apply that big G there. But I have a problem with that because of the God is immaterial, which means he can't be weighed, measured. You can't, like John says, you can't give him kilojoules, you can't give him measurements, you can't give him anything. So that would not necessarily be attributable to God in that sense. It would be more of his mechanism he uses, to do that thing. And now the mechanism is what we're after. And I don't know what that mechanism is. I'm just
The word gravity in the dictionary, outside of how the ballers use it, says here dignity, sobriety, gravity and learning, seriousness, the gravity of the offense. So now the ballers and pseudoscientists have said that means acceleration, force, started with mass attracts mass, then it's space-time bending. Who knows 5 years from now what they'll give it.
Tenth, was that like the first? Were those the first usages?
Well, I'd have to go check to see the root word and all that. They haven't
No,
done that.
no. What I mean is, you're reading from an entry. Are you reading entry number 1, entry number 2? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, entry number 1 was dignity, sobriety, and then 2 was weight. 3 is gravitational attraction. 4 could be my name. 5 could be your name. I mean, this is ridiculous. And they're trying, the only thing gravity is important to in this usage is the ballers, and they have to have it for the oceans to stick to this ball. So they have to defend it to their death. Except Nathan says it pretty nicely when he looks outside his window. Everything's at rest. Everything's at equilibrium. Oh, the leaf fell. Well, let's go to the beginning of that leaf. It had a bud first, had to use energy, had to grow into its size, and then as it dried up, it's severed and it's finding equilibrium. I mean, this is what are we talking about acceleration? I mean, we'd be crashing all over the place if there was acceleration.
Indeed.
We're finite beings. We're given a place to live that has these obvious, wonderful statutory rules that God set up in the beginning. It's the spirits don't and are not bound by these rules, only the flesh. And we don't feel acceleration.
Hey guys, how are we all?
Very well, mind warped. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Feeling a lot better.
Well, at least your health is accelerating.
Yeah. Did you guys watch my video about what was happening? Or yeah, the old ticker. It's all good though.
Housekeeping.
Yeah, we should move on if that's the end of the gravity discussion. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
That's a negative.
No, on that show yesterday, 344 toe tag, I think Anthony brought up the iron, the degrees, and how it loses its magnetism. So they don't even have anything there.
About the R value, any evidence of Earth radius?
Nope.
Anybody at all?
No.
Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container?
Only in Narnia.
Well, that's pretty much it. That concludes the housekeeping.
I've heard the answer, just go outside and just look up. That doesn't work here.
Well, if you went outside, you would experience gas pressure, and given that the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is a container, you could go outside and assume there's a container, because it falls in line with all the natural laws. Going outside looking at the sky and assuming it's a vacuum, on the other hand, would be a violation of the second law of thermodynamics and Boyle's law.
Yeah, I get that. But the same people that assert that to me tell me I'm spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. So I have to question that.
Not only that, though, Nathan, not only is there a gas pressure, and that means that there must be a container, we have a density gradient above us that is the atmosphere. The weight of the atmosphere is pushing down on us, right? But that pressure is supposed to be pushing out in all directions, right? But the fact that we have a density gradient only comes from having a container. If there wasn't a container, there wouldn't be a density gradient. It would burst off into space. So it's the two things. We have gas pressure and we have a density gradient. They are only consistent inside a container. So where is that container?
Is Boyle's law summary that gases do not bond and they go in all directions? Is that a good summary for Boyle's law?
It's based on the volume, basically, of the container itself.
Can you just give me a summary then?
Yeah, the pressure will be dictated based on the volume of the container. So if you've got a smaller container, you've got a bigger pressure, and vice versa. So if you increase the size of the container, the gas pressure will decrease.
Got it. All right, so we got Boyle's law and second law of thermodynamics. Now, what's more reasonable? Knowing the reality of those two things, that there is a container or we have the vacuum of space.
We definitely haven't got a vacuum of space. It violates natural laws. So it's preposterous to even suggest that we have a vacuum of the sky. Now, on the converse side of that, I don't know what the sky is, and I'm never going to claim to. But I'm not telling most of the Western world that it's a vacuum now, am I? That's the current rhetoric, and that's nonsense.
Well, just because you can't see it doesn't mean there isn't a container.
Well, it's the way John phrases this is to say if you put a ribeye in front of him, he doesn't need to see the cow.
Right.
To know that the cow existed.
Yeah.
Well, that's the basis of my question.
Well, it's an antecedent.
What's more reasonable to believe is that there is a container because of Boyle's law and second law of thermodynamics, if you're going to be reasonable.
Well, no. Boyle's law and the second law of thermodynamics would be the reason why we don't have a sky vacuum. Now, they're natural laws, so they're always going to apply. So, not necessarily. In terms of whether or not there's something for the gas pressure to press upon, that goes without saying. It's an antecedent. If you've got nothing to press on, then you have no pressure. That's how it works. So, without the container, there can be no pressure.
So we got three. We got second law, we got Boyle's law, and the antecedent. Something must push against something.
Yeah, those would be the three critical details that absolutely crap all over the idea that the sky is a vacuum called outer space. It isn't. That's nonsense.
So that's the premise of my statement. What's more reasonable to believe? Those three things that we could put our hands on and understand and actually test, or something that goes against those three items that violate laws.
Sure, but those three things require no belief, and if you were to assert in any way, shape or form that you don't believe natural laws, then that gets a belly laugh. It doesn't matter. A few people on the panel have said, I don't believe, prove this natural law, and I just laugh at them. No, it's a natural law. You're never going to defy it. If it was ever defied, it wouldn't be a natural law. So you go ahead and try and violate that natural law for me if you believe it doesn't hold true, even though it's always exampled everywhere. So no, I'm not going to just accept that I have a belief in a law of nature. I don't. The contrary, on the other hand, is that people believe their sky vacuum, a violation of that natural law, is actually the case. So our side of the argument doesn't require any belief whatsoever. We just toe the line with natural laws. Why wouldn't you? They're natural laws. And the converse is the globeheads who violate natural laws in their fundy sky belief about a vacuum called outer space. So it's not which is more reasonable to believe. Our side doesn't require any belief. There's just natural laws and we don't defy them, unlike them. Hey, Ranty.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, one is self-evident.
But one's a natural law.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's self-evident. That's right there. It's right in front of you.
Funny thing I've been hearing a lot lately is that because apparently we know these guys don't like the definition of gas pressure because it requires a container. So now a bit people will try to tell me that it's not gas pressure, it's atmospheric pressure. Because
begging the question.
Right. The definition for that doesn't require a container. And it's like, wait, what is the atmosphere again? What is that made out of? Gas? Oh.
Yeah, they don't like it. It's like when Einstein replaces or supersedes Newtonian principles. They say that superseding means, that doesn't mean replaces. It means adds to or refines. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
So could it be possible that, like, is there actually a gas that could be dense enough to act as a container?
No.
Just wondering.
That's not what gases do. Gases aren't containers.
Not a gas.
I know that. I mean, like something like dense enough. Like,
yeah, you might get. Well, that's the thing with absolute zero. Hydrogen is a liquid. No, helium is still technically a liquid, but hydrogen is a solid.
Can you hear us, Cinder?
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
I had a bone to pick with you, Cinder. What did I want you for?
You had to prove electromagnetism scientifically to me.
Oh shit, that was what. Yeah, I remember you asking about that.
You have time. You have still time. And I wanted to ask Nathan, what's 854 plus 1?
Why did you ask me that? Why'd you ask me that?
Because I think that it would be important to look at your title.
Oh, you're saying that you got the wrong show number?
I've got the wrong. I knew there would be a reason. It wouldn't just be simple mathematics that you were challenging me with.
But you could
very observant.
But you could think 854 plus 1 as 846, right? You could think as it would be 846. But anyway,
thank you.
I think I solved my purpose.
I like that. You're making George Musa jokes, Cinder. Nice.
It was like.
Oh, I missed that. I was doing the number change. I missed that. Oh, I love a good George Musa joke. Can you repeat it, please, Cinder? Even though
I asked what's 854 plus 1, and the answer is 855. But you could think as if it would be 846. Yep.
Gotcha.
You could also think of it as 846 if you'd like.
Yeah.
Very good.
You know, it's like those people who hold their hands on the shoulder and make like the snake, right? Walk around, and it's really irresistible to participate.
Sorry,
so
did I just drop acid?
What
did I just drop some acid? What did you say? The people who walk around like snakes?
No, those people who hold their arms and hands on the person before they hold them on the shoulder, right? And then they walk like they walk in the line and dance. You know those people. Like at the party.
Are you thinking
like,
of the human centipede? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, something like that. Like, and everyone is happy and walks around, and it's really irresistible to not participate in it. So I had to participate in making.
You mean like
Musa
a conga
jokes
line?
too. Yeah.
Oh,
like
right. So you jumping on the back of the conga line when making reference to George Musa. I see.
Yeah. Sorry, I was expressed really badly, but
no, that's fine.
Don't forget, you got to kick your leg out to the side when you do the conga too.
Yeah.
And go.
And think of it as a force. Hey.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, most jokes have a zinger. We got a zinder.
Yeah.
Anyway, I serve my purpose, and Anthony, just take your time on proving it scientifically. If you want to prove the strong and weak nuclear force too, you're free to do it.
So the one that you're most interested in is the electromagnetic force.
Yeah.
And wasn't the issue to do with how do you manipulate it to prove that it exists?
Yep.
Within scientific method. Right, I got you.
All right. Have a nice day, guys.
Thanks, Cinder.
Say no to gravity, Cinder.
Yeah, I did try. It's pseudoscience anyway,
Yay.
like all other forces too. So yeah.
Thanks,
Have a nice
Cinder.
day.
Unless I punch you in the face, that's not a pseudo force, is it?
Oh, come on. No need.
Well, it's not. There's an interaction, a push or a pull.
Anyway. Yes,
I'd
thank
like
you,
to make a
Cinder.
comment about a container. I'm sorry.
Got Right the Hand on Discord. How you doing, Right the Hand? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Good to have you, yeah. We can actually hear Discord today.
Awesome.
go right
I don't know if
there.
you've seen. I posted a link in the Discord. Some guy explained how you figure out air pressure gradient in a large container, complete with the formulas, with humidities, dependent. It's a stab in the heart to the people that are like, oh, you can't have an air pressure gradient in a container. Well, yes, you can.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, that's why we know we're in a container, because there is a pressure in the first place and there's a density gradient. That is why we're in a container. What that container is, who knows? But we're definitely inside some kind of construct.
Even before
They'll
all
say
that,
all the time.
we have gas pressure. It doesn't even matter about the gradient. We have gas pressure. They have to be in a container.
Oh, I know, but one of their arguments is, oh, but gas pressure gradient disproves the container. I'm like, nope, no, it doesn't.
The quickest response to that. Which comes first? Gas pressure or gas pressure gradient?
Oh, I know.
I think we can at least.
They'll still tell you gas pressure gradient. They'll hear it, it'll process, they'll forget it, and they'll say a gas pressure gradient.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying you would say to them words to that effect, and the reply would be, no, gas pressure gradient.
Exactly.
I see. Yes, we are dealing with Mongols. That's correct.
So
Does
you
sound
have
like
to,
that, too.
no matter where they try and run, you got to put a wall in front of them. And they hit it and bounce back. And then you just got to keep doing that, and hopefully they land on flat Earth.
Mentally, it's probably quite exhausting to be a globehead.
Hey, I think
Yeah,
we can
it's the same
determine the
thing.
nature of the container a little bit anyway.
Oh,
Are you guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Paul.
It would. I'm making sure. It would have to be denser than the gas. No matter what, the container has to be denser than the gas. Example: I've just boiled some water on my stove. Well, the water vapor or gas is less dense than the water. So in a sense, the water itself creates the container and it rises up. So no matter what, whatever's containing the gas has to be denser than the gas. That's all. I just thought of a nature of the container. That's all. Still don't know what it is.
Well, all this talk about
Yeah,
container,
I
yes,
think
it's
that's a good point.
it's the necessary antecedent, correct. However, we're basically arguing about open versus closed. So in terms of the fact that we have gas pressure, that dictates that we're in a closed system. To have gas pressure means it's closed. The rhetoric is an open system. It's just as simple as that. The rhetoric of an open system is complete nonsense. You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum. And the necessary antecedent to have gas pressure is a container. So therefore, closed system. Simple as that. I like when they argue for a closed system. Like when they're describing things like Coriolis. It needs to be described in a closed system, right? You can't have the gas whipping by the vacuum at 66,000 miles an hour or whatever ludicrous speed. It all must be described as though it's in a closed system. You're like, but it's an open system in your rhetoric. No, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we will assume it's closed.
Not according to Bill Nye.
Bill Nye says it's
came out and
closed.
said, "Oh, it's a closed system. Can't leave the Earth." And I'm
Yeah,
looking
in
at
that
the screen like,
context,
wait a
it was-
minute.
In that context, he was referencing rubbish.
Hold on one second. We've got a new caller. How you doing? I can't read that writing. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to try to read that.
He jumped in and dropped immediately.
Like it, yeah.
Is anybody in the back chat?
Yeah, I jumped in. Somebody already took care of him. He's gone.
Okay.
Any sign of that missing footage, Tony?
Missing footage? What are you on about?
So, Fight the Flat Earth has obviously edited his video with George Musa. Some blatant edits. Several people have highlighted it. Anthony did a full video about it yesterday. Obviously, his memory is only about 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, he's ignoring me at the minute. It's as if he's vanished. Not saying wishful thinking, like, but yeah, he seems to be ignoring me at the minute. He's normally really on top with my messages. He normally responds within minutes. He doesn't even seem to sleep. It's as if he's got people working for him, dare I say it.
Do you find it? Did you actually publish the comment that he made in response to somebody when they challenged him about the missing footage?
Yeah, I published that. Yeah.
So what did you publish?
The message from that bloke that you told me to. I read it.
Yeah. What about his response?
I read that too. He blamed it on an upload from YouTube.
He did. He sure as hell did.
But he told me that there wasn't a cut there, and then he said there was a cut there. It was just Musa repeating back the question and then answering it. So he snipped that bit out. I don't believe him. I think he's lying. I think that Musa said something that didn't support his position, and that's why he's cut it out.
That's okay.
But I'm sure he'd love to prove me wrong by demonstrating it, by showing it, but doesn't seem to want to do that.
If he's made a claim that it's the same thing but being repeated, just demonstrate that then. Just show us the cut out bit, unedited, and then that'll back what you claim it is. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any reason why
timing the edit is too.
Surely he'd want to show that I'm wrong, wouldn't he? Because I mean, he's dedicated a week of his life on me. I mean, I'm flattered, but prove me wrong, bitch. Let's see that cut.
Say again, right the hand.
I do video editing, so if you
nobody listens to me anymore. Just people just waiting for their turn to talk. Go ahead, right the hand. Everyone else just completely ignore me. I would.
Sorry. I was just saying that the timing of the edit's very suspect. It comes right after where he says gravity's not a force. I'm sure he was probably reiterating how it's not a physical, tangible force, and that's what he cut out.
But the creepy thing about it is that what's his name? Craig is sat in almost the identical position as if no time has passed and he's just done a full stop and he's removed like a slither, or he's realised that he has to cut that bit out and he's freeze framed himself, knowing that there's going to be a cut.
Can you present my screen, Nathan?
I did. It is.
Oh, right. It's his response. So Carl Browning picked this up and he basically says, hey, Fight the Flat Earth, better have a look at 1410, which is the part that's clipped. I see a glitch, but I don't think anything's missing in the audio. For your information, you may end up rendering and uploading a bit again to compare. And he's put his response, yeah, you're right. It seems YouTube was the problem, as the files I uploaded don't contain that. Have you ever heard anything so ridiculous?
However, that contradicts what he told me. He told me in my message that there wasn't a cut. Then he said that there was a cut, but Musa was repeating himself, so he just deleted that bit out. And then he said, "I'll show you it on the Hangout later," and he never showed us.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I've never uploaded a video that's had anything missing. Videos don't render if you have things missing. They have to be uploaded.
Sorry, 1 second. We've got a new guest that keeps joining. Is anybody keeping an eye?
I'm going to do it. I wasn't doing it. Oops.
Have we lost Ranty? Oh, great. We're going to lose half the panel. Yeah, lost the entire panel. Wonderful, wonderful. New hangout. Hey, Arwin, I'm just going to start a new hangout if you can hear me. This should be the work of but a moment. Could open the Discord chat, couldn't I? Let's get Phil off server mute. Can you guys hear me in Discord still?
Yep, we hear you.
Oh, well, that's good. That stops it being complete dead air while I sort out a new hangout. Happy days.
Yeah, it's working. Can you hear me over here?
Yeah, everything's good. It'll just take me 2 minutes to get a new hangout set up.
Could you just explain what a back chat is? I don't know what that is.
No, I can't. I can tell you when we're off air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I could tell you right to hand if you want to, like, off the air some other time.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I didn't know it was a thing like that. I thought it was just like, oh, you have your like front panel, then like a back panel of like listeners or something. I don't.
Sort of. There's a bit more to it than that, and it's just certain details. If we give it away, I've already said too much.
No, yeah, I hear you. I like remaining computer illiterate. Like my girlfriend's really good at it. So as long as one person is, I just wish I could like do stream and upload videos and stuff, but whatever.
Okay, I think we're pretty much there with a link, so I'll stick this out on Skype first. Screen back onto the Hangouts page. Okay, so if you're watching this on and you're part of one of the Skype servers, then there's the link.
You there, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I just joined on Discord.
Okay. Hopefully we'll still get a few people back in the Hangout.
You want me to go back in the Hangout?
Yeah, ideally.
Okay.
Hi, Anthony. Yeah, you've got a phone call. I'm glad this didn't happen at the beginning of the show. Hey, Arwin. Hey, 10th man again.
Hi, back here.
So what were we talking about again? Make sure you're on mute in the Discord. Make sure you're on mute. Hold on, guys. Make sure you're on mute in the Discord server there if you're going to stay in there, 10th man.
No, I'm out of Discord.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Still showing you in there.
Oh, I'll go check.
Cool. So where were we? What the hell were we talking about?
Weren't we talking about Fight the Flat Earth not revealing his video?
Oh, yes. Edits and such. So why give so many different stories? Why not immediately just say, yeah, it was edited when asked? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's edited at a time that makes it suspicious. So it's not just the fact that it's a cut, it's more the fact of the timing of it. It's like, well, what's he cut out? And we need to see it. So please produce it. He's never going to do it, though.
I mean, I don't think it's...
Can you put the link in the side chat so I can have a look? Because I do video editing for work, so I'll be able to tell you straight away.
Oh, we're certain it's been edited. Yeah, we're absolutely certain. You know, there is no doubt about it. But it's not that whether or not it's been edited. It's the aftermath. It's if he says no, it hasn't been. Oh yes, it has. Well, actually, it's a YouTube glitch. It's like, why the three stories?
Well, it's obviously that he's lying. That's the first thing. And then the thing is, well, why is he lying? What's he hiding? He's hiding something. So if you want to see the link, who was it that asked for it?
Mind warped.
I just put it in the Discord forum to come to.
Mind warped. It's there in the chat. It's 14 minutes and 10 seconds. I think.
I'll have a look now. 14 minutes and 10 seconds.
Roughly, it's Craig says something. He asks him a question. His next words out of his mouth are, "Gravity is not a force." Cut. But watch for the cut on Musa, because originally Craig said it was only Musa that cut. Craig didn't cut. Then he said, "Oh yeah," he was repeating his question, and then he said, "It was something to do with an upload." But he's given three versions there of one event, and it's like, something's a bit sus. What was the other line?
All right, leave it with
and
me.
Craig's head, you can see it switch. It twitches from like a edit.
Yeah, they both twitch, but Craig's in suspiciously the same position almost, but it is clearly a cut. And I can't help but look at his boobs.
The other thing too. It was right when he was addressing it was like Anthony said that gravity is not a force. How do you want to respond to that? Then he said gravity is not a force, edit, and then another explanation, and then more words. So that's why it's so suspect.
I think he's cut it so that, and then re-put it back in at the point where it becomes blurred. So in other words, to make it look like it was a dropout, but they both cut, so it's not a dropout. We need to bully him into submission here on this, because I want to see it. I'm curious what not just because of him being a dick, but because I want to see, I want to see the position. I want to see what he said.
Anthony, the cut is not a cut, but you can think of it as a cut.
Yeah.
Nah, it's actually a cut. We don't even have to think about it like that. That's not bullshit. It's a cut.
Yeah, that and based on the conversation they were having, he could have cut out 5 minutes and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, he could have cut out 5 seconds or 5 minutes, and it might have been devastating. He might have been explaining how I was actually correct, and he's cut it all out. But I mean, listen. You can test this yourself. Try and find a consistent story for what gravity is, and you will find loads of variations on 2 different themes. Some of them say it's a mass attracting mass. Some of them say it's the bending of space-time. But then try and find out what the interaction between mass attracting mass and bending of space-time is, and you'll realize that one did supersede the other. It wasn't the way Craig said. So I want to know, what did he say after it? Because I bet you it pisses all over his argument.
Whether he cut it or not,
you're also going to find the aberration, maybe.
Whether he edited it or not doesn't matter. That whole show destroyed everything that they stand for.
Yeah. Exactly. We don't
really... how much more devastating could it get? The first line was gravity is not a force.
Exactly. So... You don't need any more. We don't need the extra bit. It's just interesting that he's edited something out and then lied about it. That's just interesting. But yeah, you're right. We don't need anything further to what he's already said. He's already given us all we need.
So we can conclude almost the only thing that would be worthy of editing out would be a direct admission that Anthony was right.
Well, yeah, or something that's very, very close to a direct admission.
And given that he's not given us the original, we're just going to assert that that's exactly what it is. So it's just him editing out the bit where George Musa said, yeah, Anthony's absolutely right and you're wrong, Craig. That's probably what he's edited out, and that's what we'll assume has been edited out. Right, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Looking at it, I don't know. It's if that's been edited out, he could have put a effect on there, like a bandwidth effect through After Effects. I don't know what he edits with, but you can put effects in like that. But I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Hard to tell that there was a cut. You're joking, aren't you?
No, it's either a bandwidth or a cut. But if it's a cut, then there's a. See how it goes fuzzy there? Like it's almost like a bandwidth thing.
That could
hang on, hold on. One of the stories is he repeated himself and I had to edit it. That's the story. So, okay, Craig submitted that it's edited. Okay.
So if he's edited that, then what it looks like he may have done, like I'm just saying, I don't know the guy, but it looks like he has done a cut, and to make it look like less of a cut, is added an effect in there, so it looks like an upload, fart has happened, basically a bit of an upload.
I see.
Bandwidth effect.
So what you're saying is there's something in there further to the cut in terms of the way that the transition happens that's an effect to make it seem like it's a glitch, an upload glitch, or a stutter in Skype.
Exactly.
Wow,
so hence, that gets to the bottom of why we've got several stories. One of them being it's a glitch, one of them being that it's an edit. Oh, because it's an edit.
You just
with a glitch.
If he's edited with After Effects, yeah, there's glitch effects, things like that. So he could have cut and then done a before and after glitch effect, or it won't be a genuine. Yeah, I don't know.
It won't
I'm
be
just
him.
giving you my opinion.
No, it won't be him. It'll be his production manager, an editor.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's just my point of view. But yeah, I don't know. That's just. Working with After Effects, it's pretty easy to do that kind of stuff.
I mean, it makes sense. The whole video is not like glitchy and bouncing in and out.
Except where the damaging truth is just by coincidence, when there's a very damaging statement being made, then it happens to glitch out / be edited / be a YouTube glitch.
Well, yeah, if you were going to cut something and you didn't want people to know that you cut it. Sorry, my son's screaming in the background there. Don't know if you can hear him. But if you wanted to cut it out and make it look like it wasn't a cut, then you just put a glitch effect in there and just say, oh, sorry, it was when it uploaded. There must have been an upload issue.
So just by coincidence, exactly what he did say then.
Usually upload issues end up in the entire file being corrupted.
Yeah, I found that.
Oh, well.
It either goes up exactly as it was or it doesn't.
Yeah, when I upload, my whole files go up in high def. I never have an issue. They go up exactly as I put them up.
Yeah,
that
I can't think of a single instance where I've uploaded a video, and I have literally uploaded thousands where they haven't been precisely what I've uploaded in the first instance, or they get corrupted and you have to do it again.
Exactly.
I had that twice yesterday, actually. 2 videos that I tried to upload, both were corrupted. Just coincidence, but, you know, it has happened. They just didn't render. So now I've got 2 videos that say, I can't remember what the message is, corrupted video or did not render or something like that. And then immediately after, exactly the same thing happened, and then I tried a 3rd time, and it worked.
What format do you upload in?
MP4?
You try uploading in AVC or H.264.
Well,
which
yeah, I suppose I could do.
That's the best, hey? That'll give you the best upload.
It's not. I'm not actually aiming for quality. It's time. So OBS is set up so that as soon as the recording finishes, it takes it out of whatever file format that can survive a crash. So I don't lose. I've lost a couple of shows that way when I was doing it straight to MP4. You know, your computer crashes and then it just doesn't finalize the MP4 recording and you lose it entirely. But after it does it, it remuxes the recording and then gives you an MP4 straight away. In other words, I don't have to do anything. It just does it automatically.
Yeah.
But if that's got a, what's the number, H24, whatever it is, I'll have a look and see if it can remux it into that without me doing anything, because I haven't got time to.
Yes. So what I do when I make my files, I make an MP4 version that I can use on all other things. But then when I upload onto YouTube, I use AVC or H.264, which is just like better for uploads.
Is it quicker? Does it reduce the upload time?
It's pretty much the same, but it's just a better stable online video format.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All I'm looking for is
technical.
speed.
Yeah.
It's the least amount of time, because I finished the show and probably sat at the computer for easily 2 hours. Normally with the conversations, you guys on the panel know you're all chatting away and I'm busy, and occasionally I'll forget to not knock off my screen share and people will see what I'm doing for literally a couple of hours after the show finishes. So anything that can save time, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, if you're meaning like other files the same size, they're pretty much the same size, so they'll upload at the same speed.
Right. Yeah. No benefit.
Yeah. You just get a better end quality.
Sure. I mean, for a gamer or something, that might be critical, or if you've got really high resolution images like you and Ranty do, then I can totally appreciate that. But on this show, yeah,
I was just more thinking
good,
if you got a glitch effect and people thought you might have cut things out, you know.
Yeah, right. I've seen glitches while stuff's being played out live. That definitely happens. But you know, if it's glitching during the live stream, then it records it that way. You know what I mean? So you can have to.
It's live rendering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's due to bandwidth.
Yeah, or whatever the issue is. But you know, if you're recording on your computer at the same time, you can have a discrepancy between your recording and what was actually streamed that then saves to YouTube. You can compare them and see that, you know, there's stuff that's glitched out on the YouTube stream that is there on your recording.
Yeah. So, but okay, so looking at it like that, then is that a live stream that he was showing? Because it looks like it might have possibly been a live stream.
No, but he made it look like one.
Okay, all right.
But you can think of it as a live stream.
But the fact that you've done that though is sneaky.
He had like a ticker thing across the top, right?
Yeah, making it look like it was a live hangout.
Wasn't Muser like really close to the screen? I
Yeah,
feel like he
was,
might
yeah.
have cut and zoomed in, you know, to make his editing easier. So if you have a dynamic background, your cuts are harder. That's why I think I think this is going deeper. Like when he was like, "Yo, he's got editing team." I think we might be like looking at something a little bigger than just some guy somewhere trying to prove a baller stuff. This might be like, you know, controlled or pushed, and that's how George Muser was able to get on. That's why George Muser's face was so zoomed in. Like this is all part of a plan.
Why would his background be dynamic? He's just inside, isn't he?
Well, but like if you have shoulders, hands moving, you know, when you go to edit, the hands will be in a different place. If you have just his head, it's easier to line it up with the cuts and make it look like you're not moved. That's why Fight the Flat Earth, when you watch him, he sits almost motionless when he talks. His hands are at his side. I think he does that to make the cuts easier.
Yeah, I think that's why he's done it as well.
Yeah, I said that, didn't I? That was the first thing I noted to Anthony, actually. Right the hand. That was literally the first thing I said.
I didn't hear you say that. So we're just coming to the same conclusion based on what we see.
Yeah, he just sat perfectly still, and it's like, that's suspiciously uncomfortably still to be sat during an interview, not, you know, practically not blinking.
Yeah, I thought that yesterday too. After I watched that cut a few times, I thought the same thing. Like maybe he's doing that purposely. Maybe he's just that good.
So what's the deal with that George guy? Because I see him in a little side chat there, and he talks big.
We're talking across purposes. There's two Georges, George Netanyahu and George Muser.
All right, okay. I don't know which one's which.
Yeah, George Muser's the one we're referring to now. He's an astrophysicist. Calculated the convection currents on Venus. That's his claim to fame. Total pseudoscientist.
He also wrote a book.
Go on, right hand.
Do we know he's an author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to something?
What, to convection currents on Venus? An Idiot's Guide to Convection Currents on Venus.
It's string theory, but still, like I think it's ironic that he's associated with something that has complete idiot in its name. Because when you think about the wording, it says a complete idiot's guide to string theory. So he is the complete idiot, and he's giving you the guide.
Yeah.
Maybe the people who are above him.
Wouldn't you have to go to Venus to test that?
Yes.
Yeah. And even then, you got to start drilling holes and stuff. Because how are you going to measure convection currents without having to see the convection? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to guess it?
Shout out to James Richard for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed for your support. Really appreciate it.
I wonder whether he considers that to be science, or whether he accepts that it's theoretical physics and therefore has no application in real world whatsoever.
Shout out to No Proof. Thank you also for the super chat. For what you like, it will go away. Ballers obviously like this show. That's good. Indeed.
I was on TFR radio this morning with the lads over at Iron Realm Media, and we were talking about this scenario with Fight the Flat Earth and what his motives might be. And we haven't got any reason for why he will be here. It's almost as if he's here as the jester, you know, like to try and make friends by being a Burke. Because he's clearly not here for the truth. He's here to try and ridicule at all costs, no matter how stupid it makes him look. And it's like, what is his motive? Why would you be this way? Like, presumably he's getting paid by somebody, but I mean, it's speculation, sure, but he's not behaving like a normal bloke that believes that the Earth's a ball. He's behaving like somebody that knows it's not a ball that's getting paid to push it.
The videos are pretty like clean and crisp. They look professional. Maybe he's here just to make videos to make money.
Well, he got a thingy, didn't he? A GoFundMe thing set up for a campaign.
He has several different shows, so he's just a professional guy. But I treated it on my show as a subject. I don't think he has his real heart in it. So things just seem so, like he's not really into it. You get that?
He seems like a wackadoo. That's what he seems like.
What's a wackadoo?
Bandwagon.
A whack-a-mole.
No, wackadoo, he said.
I think he means whack-a-mole.
Just like a nutbag. He seems very off for some reason. I don't know. There's something wrong with that guy.
Who are we talking about?
Craig.
Oh,
Well, maybe
well, I'm still.
maybe
I'm
he's on
still
some
mad.
kind of medication or something. I don't know.
I think George Musa should go to NASA and say he figured out the so-called Van Allen belts because he went to Venus to measure something.
Oh, sorry,
Now, if
wasn't
he-
that made clear? Oh, he's a pseudoscientist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the point is that it's all mathematical and Narnia stuff in his head because for him to do whatever convection on Venus is, he can't do it from here.
No, they just make up a little story.
Yeah, but people buy it because there's all the programming of outer space and all this. So it's so silly to say, wait a minute, what did you use, Mr. Muser, to figure out convection on Venus? And how did you get there? And how did you experiment to know if it was true or not? No one asked these questions.
Imagination.
Magic.
He won an award for planetary sciences.
He got an award for something?
For planetary sciences, whatever that is.
Oh, well, that makes total sense. Someone from Pluto gave him an award.
He doesn't have real credentials. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to like bash the guy, but like he didn't go anywhere. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't performed any experiments. He just has some like, he's just basically somebody who's fantasizing the same dream that the ballers are. And he just picked one particular facet of that dream, Venus or whatever it is, and started really making stuff up about it. And people are like, wow, look at him go.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the key point in the whole interview was his love affair with the word magical. What true scientist uses words like magic?
The American Institute of Physics gave him an award for his work in physics based on his planetary physics.
In a few moments,
give,
we're gonna
Star Wars people the awards for having PhD.
say that again.
I guess we should give people that wrote Star Wars PhD.
Well, yeah, there's only a very fine line between pseudoscience astrophysicists' declarations and the declarations of people like George Lucas. You're absolutely right. There's a very fine line between the two.
Yeah, I was talking about that with somebody before. Like, if you look at how close science fiction, quote unquote, lines up with what they say science, outer space is, you know, it's like you kind of see the same things here and there.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I covered right at the beginning of my journey through Flat Earth. Predictive programming, right? That's all it is. It's keeping the priesthood's rhetoric prevalent in the minds of many. So the stories that are being told at the talkies or at the pictures or whatever, they're going to be in line with the rhetoric. You know, these people are part of that system. That's why I say TV is the devil.
Yeah, it's like the movie Interstellar with the black hole and the guy folding the paper and saying this is the bending of time space. It's right there in the movie, and this is all the crap that they're telling us it's real. So they make up all this crap, then they get together and have a crap awards, and then they give themselves who made up the best crap an award.
Yeah. Event Horizon.
Also pretty funny, right? In that movie, didn't they mention that the moon landings were fake?
Yeah, they did that in the
And they told Matthew
negative but
McConaughey
positive
that.
way.
And he's just looking at them. What do you mean they're fake? They're in the books. No, it can't be fake.
That's subtle.
So I'm going to shortly round out this live stream, but before I do, not just yet, I'm just going to do a quick shout out. So Jaron dropped me a line and said, presumably because he'd watched yesterday's show, and I'd shouted out a few people that I've been watching. So he's got in touch and said, I'm watching these people at the minute, and they are called Flat Reality Earth Explorers. So I have put a link to their channel in the info box. I haven't actually checked them out yet. I've watched the first few minutes of their most recent video just to get a vague idea what they're about. But yeah, go and check them out. As I say, there's a link in the info box, and this has been recommended by Jeronism. Another shout out to James Richard. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Really do appreciate your support.
Oh, and yeah, the reason Jeremy wants you to subscribe there as well is that they'll be doing a live test on Saturday, I believe it is. So they'll be doing a mirror test with Jeremy down at the Salton Sea.
Probably did tell me that, but when I saw the message with very sleepy eyes, I probably didn't take that in.
Cool.
I'll go and reread his message. He did give me quite a detailed message. It's because he was quite vague. He said, we will be at the Salton Sea this weekend for an observation. So he means him and them. Okay, yeah, that does make sense now. So before Jaron started chatting them out, apparently they had less than 1,000 subscribers. So good for them. I hope they do well. And I hope their test goes well. More power to you.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spam the link to them in the chat right now. And you know, hopefully some people, when you round out, will head on over there and subscribe.
Absolutely. So if you're in the live stream right now, go to their channel. There's either a link in the info box or Ranty will spam the chat with it as we speak, as he has got mod status in Nathan Oakley channel. I think with that, I'll actually say, unfortunately, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley live stream, this is where we bid you farewell. However, if you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. A massive thank you to everybody who made this live debate possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Stay tuned if you're watching on 1980. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!